The Critian Empire had conquered 47 star systems in 3 centuries. Their military doctrine was precise, calculated, built on algorithmic warfare and predictable hierarchies. When they intercepted Earth's distress beacon and subsequently demanded surrender, they expected negotiation, perhaps resistance, but always within the understood parameters of civilized conflict. They did not expect Bella. Commander Zaxter stood in the observation deck of the flagship Eternal Dominion, his chromatic scales shifting to perplexed violet as he reviewed the tactical readout. The human vessel approaching their blockade was small, a modified freighter, barely combat-capable by Critian standards. It transmitted diplomatic codes, requested parley, and followed every protocol. Everything appeared normal. "Sir, the human delegation is requesting permission to board," reported his tactical officer. "Granted, standard security protocols. Let's see what these primitives have to offer." Bella walked through the airlock with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. She wore what appeared to be a standard Earth military uniform, crisp and professional, her dark hair pulled back in a regulation bun. Behind her, Leo followed, tall, silent, his pale eyes scanning the Critian guards with unsettling intensity. "Welcome aboard the Eternal Dominion," Zaxter began, his translator converting his hisses into smooth English. "I am Commander." "I know who you are," Bella interrupted, her smile widening. "We've been studying your empire for 6 months. Fascinating organizational structure, very rigid." Leo laughed, a short, sharp bark that made the guards' weapons twitch upward. Zaxter's scales flickered orange with irritation. "You requested this meeting to discuss Earth's surrender terms." "Surrender?" Bella tilted her head. "Oh no, we're here to deliver a message." She glanced at Leo. "You want to do the honors, or should I?" Before anyone could react, Leo's hand moved. The Critian physiology had evolved for strength and endurance, not speed. By the time their neural impulses registered the threat, Leo had already disabled 3 guards with precise strikes to their respiratory apertures. Bella simultaneously drew a compact plasma cutter, ostensibly a tool, not a weapon, which had passed their scanners, and carved through the command console with surgical precision. "Alert! Security breach on." The announcement cut off as Bella casually tossed a small sphere that emitted an electromagnetic pulse, localized but devastatingly effective. Zaxter stumbled backward, reaching for his communicator. Bella was already there, her hand gripping his wrist with surprising strength. "Here's the thing about Earth," she said conversationally, as if discussing weather. "We didn't send our best strategists. We didn't send our diplomats or our generals or our philosophers." Her eyes gleamed with something ancient and terrible. "We sent the ones we usually keep locked away, the ones even we're afraid of." Leo had finished with the guards, all unconscious, not dead, but only because Bella had specified non-lethal for this particular demonstration. He was now casually rewiring the ship's internal communications, humming tunelessly. "Your empire fights wars with logic," Bella continued. "Calculated risks, acceptable losses, predictable escalations." She released Zaxter and walked to the viewport, gazing at the Critian fleet arrayed in perfect geometric formation. "Beautiful, really, so organized." This is an act of war," Zaxter hissed, his scales now a terrified pale gray. "No," Leo spoke for the first time, his voice eerily calm. "This is a warning. War would be much worse." Bella turned back, and Zaxter finally understood what he was seeing. This wasn't a soldier. This wasn't even a warrior in the traditional sense. This was something his species had evolved past millennia ago, a predator that hunted not for survival or strategy, but for the pure, incomprehensible joy of chaos. Earth has approximately 200 million people who are clinically diagnosed as having antisocial personality disorders, psychopathy, or sociopathy, Bella recited as if reading from a textbook. "For centuries, we've tried to rehabilitate them, control them, understand them. Then you showed up," she smiled again. And we realized we've been treating them as a problem when they're actually a resource. Leo pulled up a holographic display he'd hacked from the ship systems. It showed Earth's military roster, thousands of faces, each with psychological profiles that would have horrified any civilized species. Attachment disorders, reduced fear response, inability to process empathy, elevated thrill-seeking behavior. Your soldiers fight because it's their duty, Leo said. Ours fight because they enjoy it. There's a difference. Zaxter's mind raced through the implications. An army that didn't fear death, didn't require morale, didn't need rational motivation. Warriors who viewed combat not as a necessary evil but as entertainment. The Critian Empire had faced many opponents, some technologically superior, some numerically overwhelming, but never something like this. You're bluffing, he managed. No civilization would arm such individuals. Bella's smile finally faded. We didn't want to, but you threatened our families, our children, our homes, so we made a choice. She leaned close. We released the monsters. The lights on the flagship flickered. Leo had finished his work. In approximately 30 seconds, Bella explained, every ship in your fleet will receive the same message. Video documentation of what we can do, what we've already done to your forward bases, your outposts, your impregnable fortress on Kepler 442b. Zaxter's communicator suddenly activated despite the EMP, playing footage that made his blood run cold. Humans, if they could still be called that, moving through Critian installations like natural disasters, not strategic strikes, not precision warfare, pure, methodical devastation delivered with disturbing enthusiasm. Earth's proposal is simple, Bella said as she and Leo moved toward the airlock. Leave our system. Never return. Tell your empire that there are things in this galaxy worse than death, and humans have perfected several of them. Leo paused at the threshold. Oh, and Commander, we're the diplomatic team. Be grateful you didn't meet our assault division. They left. Within an hour, the Critian fleet had withdrawn from Earth's solar system. Within a month, the Empire had reclassified humanity as a level Omega threat. Do not engage under any circumstances. The Critian historians would later debate what made humans so dangerous. Some argued it was their technology. Others claimed it was their unpredictability. But Zaxter knew the truth. Humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their ships or their weapons. It was their willingness to embrace the darkness within themselves and point it at anyone foolish enough to threaten what they loved. The Empire had stood for 3 centuries on the foundation of logical warfare. In a single day, 2 humans had taught them that sometimes logic loses to madness. And madness, unleashed with purpose, is the most terrifying weapon in the universe.